Pat, is the trip taking its toll on you or not at this stage? Not whatsoever.
Not at all.
Is it because that like life at sea is calm and tranquil and relaxing, or what would give you that positive ion, I would wonder?
Well, this is my third attempt, as you know, and you know it's good for the morale to have got this far, and you feel good when you get in. You know that you've made another leg. It's nice to make a landfall. Yeah, good for you.
You mentioned some little incidents over the last 2 weeks to us, and I just want to ask you to recall a few of them. One was I think you called it, was it the Sargasso Sea, and you spoke about seaweed and barnacles and things. It was just very interesting to somebody who wouldn't experience that sort of thing. You might recall that for us?
That was going across south of the Azores, 1,200 miles south of the Azores in '86 when I was going to America. I sailed through the Sargasso Sea. And it's a big carpet of seaweed, and it sticks onto the rudder of your self-steering, and you have to clear it with the boat hook. But yeah, that was interesting. Actually, you know, you learn a lot doing what I've done. You meet a lot of nice people.
You also met flying fish, and they used to land on your deck or on your sails, I believe.
Yeah, you nearly have them all the time. You can pick them up and have them for your breakfast. I was running short of food. I made a mistake when I totted up the number of tins in Madeira, and I was short 50 tins. I didn't double check the figures. I was running short, and I had a half tin of tomatoes when I got into South Africa. And things like that happen, but that's normal, where I never ran short of water.
You've always been a fairly healthy and active individual, but since you've left, you've had a broken rib and you've had surgery twice. How does that feel? Or
well, the broken rib had to do with the journey, and the hernia had to do with it because I had damage to the mast coming from New Zealand to here, and I had to climb up the mast. Actually, when I came down, my legs and thighs were black and blue for about 3 days. But, yeah, that's par for the course.
Part of life, yeah. Some men will fly to the moon, others will hang glide, and I suppose you have seen quarters of the world, and you've been around 2 of the capes, of the 3 capes in this world, yeah?
Yeah.
How does that feel, being in these very special places?
Funny enough, I don't think much of it, but it's nice to know it's behind you. You know, I've read these books on single-handed sailing since I started sailing at 16, and it always intrigued me, and I'm glad I got a chance to do it. And it's nice to have gone around these capes, but I don't think much of it when you've it done. But it's nice to know you've it done.
Yeah. And bird life, you've seen, other than the flying fish, is there sea life, but bird life, have you seen any particular?
Yeah, you have birds all the time. I remember when my rudder broke when I lost my boat, 1,000 miles west of Cape Town, these black seagulls, and I had them nearly to Chile. There must be Southern Ocean birds, but I said, these guys, they're all dressed in black, they think I'm going to die and they're going to go to my funeral, but they're not.
A lot of people at home in Limerick, when they ask about you, they all ask something, because a lot of us don't know what you're experiencing or how you cope with your day-to-day life, and they ask how you sleep or what's your sleeping pattern like.
If the weather's fine, you sleep, as I said, from sunset to sunrise. But you wake up maybe every 2 or 3 hours, and 4 hours you check your compass to see you're on course, that the wind hasn't changed. And if the weather's bad, you just don't sleep with the noise in the rigging, and all sails are down. It's like a magnified orchestra, yeah? And sometimes you're up pumping out all night.
Yeah,
if it's very rough.
Many people would say that, yes, it looks like you're going to be the oldest man in the history of the world to navigate the world. But the point is that, irregardless of your age, what you're doing ranks you as one of the great navigators. Doing it at your age, how do you feel doing it at this stage of your life?
Funnily enough, I don't think age has anything to do with it. It's your health. I've been healthy all my life. I never think of years, and I just don't feel old. Thank God, I just feel young all the time. And the sea is very healthy. I haven't got a cold since I left Ireland. No.
Frugality is something that must be the nature of being at sea in terms of protecting the quantity of your water and your food and even your own personal energy. How do you feel about that when you're at sea?
Well, you don't waste. I never wasted even before I went to sea. I think waste is a sin. I remember I got on this Norwegian ship and they put me under the shower because I was dunked in the water before they hauled me up. And they put me in the shower and I said, oh, that waste of water, yeah? Yeah, you get very conscious of it.
And do you think it's something that's likely to continue on in your life, or that has always been a part of your life, perhaps, that you would be practicality would be one of your characteristics?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I know that, I don't get taxis like you guys, and I grew up, and I mind my money, I don't throw it away, and I mind my food. And
on the technical side of all of your trip and your nautical aids, I know you have various pieces of equipment. Can you tell us about some of them that would just make your life safer or easier or whatever?
Well, I have an EPIRB, an emergency position indicating radio beacon that I can activate if I get into trouble. And it's worked off satellite and they can pinpoint me, and I have an emergency VHF aerial, the radio aerial. If I lose my mast, I can put it up. I don't think I have much else.
I suppose one of the aspects that many people like is the armchair at home, or the television, or sociable amounts of alcohol. Do you bring alcohol with you, or do you like to have a drink on board when you're at sea or not?
I don't. I have still got a bottle of Roaring 40 schnapps that I got a present of in New Zealand. No, I don't. You don't drink on your own unless you're a toper.
And has the trip to date, having had many trips, but this trip being your longest one, has it altered your perception on life at this stage or not?
I don't think so. But I'm going to find it hard. I'm sailing the ocean since '86 now, yeah? I suppose I'll find it hard. You miss it. I love it. Simple as that. I love the ocean, yeah.
In your youth, do you think there was something about your youth or your experiences that made you so fond of the sea, that gave you the desire to make trips like these?
I don't think so. I think it's in you. I think it's just in you. I don't know why or how.
On the land-loving side of your visit to Chile, everywhere you've been, you've met extremely good and welcoming hospitality and families that have adopted you. While you were here, we know you visited the Andes and crossed into Argentina and saw the condors. Can you describe the experience of that for us?
Of the Andes?
Yeah.
Magnificent. Beautiful. It's beyond description. 10,000 meters. Is that right, Rick? 10,000 feet? Feet, yeah. Snow capped, and it was snowing up there. And this morning we had an earthquake. A mild earthquake. And we saw the giant condors. And we were in Argentina. We weed in Argentina.
This is a question that I don't expect you having any difficulty with, but it is obviously a reality when you are on your own. I think you may have partially answered it already, but when you're on your own like that, do you get depressed at all at sea?
once or twice you do, if it's raining non-stop and you can't get out and it's bleak and you get a bit depressed.
You did at one stage, you were, I think, around the equator in the doldrums, and you were waiting for wind, you were hot, you were sweaty, you were tired, and in your log you said, I wish this fucking wind would rise. At that particular time, having read your journals, you sounded quite down. Would that have been the case?
Yeah, the heat. From 100 to 110 or 15 degrees. And you could never stand heat. I could stand the cold more than heat.
Do you...
And that was 3 weeks in the doldrums, a windless area north of the equator.
Yeah. Do you talk to yourself out loud, or how do you think to yourself, or how do you communicate with yourself when you're at sea?
I don't talk to myself. If things go wrong, I curse and swear. Because no one can hear me. I'm not giving bad example.
And missing the sound of other people, then, does that, if you're not talking aloud and not getting a response, does that bother you?
No.
Nearing the end now, your general food and water situation, anything particular about it, or how you would manage it, or?
No, the more trips you make, the more experience you get buying food. You know, I never took salamis until I was in South Africa, and they last long. And you can get this smoked backpack bacon, and they're tasty, you see. You miss tasty food. You have dried milk and dried instant potatoes and all that jazz. And I never knew anything about peanut butter until I got to South Africa, because your butter won't last, and I could never get tin butter. But margarine lasts well. Yeah, you don't have a great variety of food, but it's difficult some days to know what you're going to cook, because you know, you miss chips. Even though you're potato big, you can't waste gas boiling spuds too often or frying chips, and then you can't fry much anyway. If you put 2 eggs on a pan, they're like scrambled eggs after a while.
And water?
Water's never a problem.
You brought some water with you from Ireland, didn't you?
Bottled water, yeah. Kerry water. Sponsored.
That was your sponsored water, yeah.
I still have that because I don't use it because I never had to. It's an emergency.
I see. Any messages you want to send to home, to family, to friends, to neighbours, to whoever?
Well, I think I should thank all the people that supported me in this trip, which I couldn't have managed without. Yeah, they were very good. And all the presents that you brought out from my supporters, they were lovely too. No, I have to thank them.
That's nice.
And all the sailing clubs that supported me.
So your general philosophy in life, would you have one or not, or if you do, what would it be?
Philosophy on life, I suppose sure I proved that I love sailing oceans. As regards anything else, I think it's just, you know, I found wherever I go, people are nice. You meet nice people everywhere. I suppose I'll settle down when I go back and mow the lawn and think of the oceans, and I'm happy for doing what I've done.
Yeah. But I suppose it goes without saying that we all wish you the very, very, very best of luck.
I thank you, Paul.
Okay.